We've been involved in the securing of supply chain, specifically the pharmaceutical supply chain, for over a decade now. And what we've done is we've built the largest track and trace network in the world for pharmaceutical drugs. It has over 280,000 entities on it from over 50 different countries. Currently today, there's over 20 billion units that have been manufactured and are being tracked through our network. And on a monthly basis, we have a billion new pharmaceutical drugs being added to our network.
You've got the challenge as well, Shabir, of refrigeration. And some people have said, well, what's the risk of this stuff being tampered with or stolen? Because the Pfizer vaccine has to be kept incredibly cold, Moderna slightly less so. Organized crime, I'm sure, would fully have the capability to buy its own freezers and cryogenic transportation, would they not? I mean, this is not a couple of guys with pistols, saying stick them up. I mean, these are complex and well-organized global organized crime rings.
You're absolutely correct. Organized crime views this as a massive opportunity and has so for decades. So they have been counterfeiting pharmaceutical drugs for decades. They've been introducing it into the pharmaceutical supply chain, and they've also been diverting it out of the pharmaceutical supply chain. And unfortunately, they've also been counterfeiting pharmaceutical products. So in the case when you're actually taking a vaccine, oftentimes you don't even know if it's real. And organized crime can make the labels and all the packaging look exactly the same as the packaging coming from a legitimate pharmaceutical company. And so when you're talking about refrigeration, they may not even do any of that, and you might just be getting water in your vaccine.
Yeah, and what are some of the challenges then that you and the Tracelink team face? When you look at the complexities of all this, Shabir, what do you come down to? What are some of your biggest concerns right now still?
Well, I think first and foremost, there have been laws that have been passed in the EU and the US to establish tracking and tracing of pharmaceutical drugs. Those laws are currently in place. We anticipate that those laws will be used in order to track and trace legitimate pharmaceutical drugs. And the most important thing is that it has to be pervasively adopted, because there are vulnerabilities at every single link in the supply chain. And obviously, you're only as good as how well you secure your weakest link. And so our approach has been to really create a network, a complete digital network that goes end to end from pharmaceutical pharmaceutical companies through distribution into the pharmacy and at the dispensing point, to be able to scan and verify the unique ID that's placed on them to make sure that is a legitimate pharmaceutical product.
And what is the weakest link right now, Shabir?
Well, unfortunately, it's usually in the middle of the supply chain. Now, there are weak links all along. We've seen counterfeiting and diversion occur at the pharmacy level. We've seen it occur at the transportation level. We've also seen it occur at the wholesaler level. So from the point, obviously, pharmaceutical companies produce good, legitimate product, but then it's in the distribution and the dispensing that you see all these, corruption going on.
Yeah, what are some of the top, as the vaccines roll out globally, right now we're talking about the UK, but they'll roll out globally, what are some of the countries that you are most concerned about? Where is that weakest link on a national level, if you will?
Well, it's everywhere. So when you mentioned that there were 5,000, pharmaceutical crime incidents that occurred in 2019, well, over 40% of them were in North America. However, when you're also looking at, from a global perspective in emerging markets, there is effort underway under the World Bank, an initiative called COVAX, to distribute 2 billion units next year. So there is weakness across all countries, the rich countries, the poorer countries, where products that are distributed, that are legitimate products, get diverted out of those countries into richer countries. So unfortunately, there is no safe harbor for anyone. We have to be vigilant in every country.
Yeah, certainly vigilant in every country. And have you been told, and this is, I guess, the news that we all care about, Shabir, I don't know how much you've been told, any concept of the timelines here? Everybody's, when we going to get it? That's all we want to know in the United States and around the world. Do you have any indication of the very real timeline we might have?
You know, I watch the news like you, and I'm tracking it like everyone else. So, you know, I'm not privy to any more information than you are.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.